All doing well. Can you hear me well? Just leave him, please, to let me know that you're all following me well. Okay, as you know, today, inshallah, we're going to handle the last session of uh, our preparation course, which is the speaking part of the IELTS test. Let me just a while. I want to start. Okay. Get listening screenshots. I don't know actually. I hope one of our classmates here may help for this aspect. So during the past few days, we already covered listening, reading, writing task 1, and writing task 2 for both academic and general training. Today, inshallah, we're going to cover the last part of the IELTS test, which is the listening part, the speaking part. Okay. So here, we're going to handle So yes, you can see me well. You can hear me well, right? My video is clear to you all, right? Good, good. So today we're going to handle the speaking part, as I said, of the IELTS test. So as I said, also this is going to be the last session, this course. So we're going to say goodbye at the end of this session. Today, as you know, that is one of the most important parts of the IELTS test, which is the speaking part of the IELTS test. To be honest with you, a lot of people may get good band scores in listening and reading, but when it comes to writing and speaking, no, we need to stop a little bit. Why? Because writing and speaking are the productive skills of the language. I mean that you need to produce language. And as long as you're going to produce language, that means you're going to be judged. And here comes the point. You're going to be judged. So this judgment may be for you or against you. As for reading, writing, and speaking, you are going to have an examiner that's going to mark or correct your piece of writing or your speech. And you need to know what is already existed in the examiner's mind. Because if too simply, if I know what you need to hear, okay, that means I'm going to give you an answer that is going to satisfy you. So this is the point here. Okay, so as for the speaking test, you know how much time is allocated for the speaking test? How much time is allocated for the speaking test? 10 minutes, 14 minutes? 10 to 14, 15 minutes. Okay, most of your answers actually are revolving around the correct answer. Anyway, the speaking test will last between 13 up to, between 11 up to 14 minutes. Good. So it is going to be between these. Okay. So as I said here, you'll find that the timing of the speaking test is between 11 to 14 or 15 minutes. So it is going to be no less than 11 minutes and no more than 14 or 15 minutes. Is the speaking test the same for both academic and general training, computer test and paper test? Yes. Actually, it's going to be the same, so no differences here. So the speaking test has the same rubrics or the same criteria for both academic and general training. In the past, we used to deliver a speaking test only face-to-face, but these days, by the way, you can deliver the speaking test either face-to-face or online. It's going to be a virtual test. But in all cases, keep in mind that in all cases, you need to come to the test venue to deliver your test. I mean, either you are going to have the computer test or the paper test. You need to come to, or you are going to have the speaking test, a face-to-face one or online one. In all cases, you need to come to the test venue to deliver your test. That means you would not do the online test at home if you are going to do an online speaking test. So keep this point into your consideration. We have three options for the speaking test, generally. Either to have the speaking test a day or some days, okay? A day or some days before the main session. The main session includes listening, reading, and writing in order. Okay, so again, listening, reading, and writing. By the way, it is extremely important to arrive an hour earlier before the time of your main session test. I mean, for example, if your main session is going to start at 9, then it's advisable to reach the test venue at 8 o'clock. Why? Because of the registration procedures. You're going to have some registration procedures, and this will take time. They're going to take your fingerprint, they're going to take your picture, they're going to fill in your details, they're going to scan you. Okay, so actually, it is a long procedure. Okay, and then it's a long process and includes a lot of procedures, as I said. Then it's extremely important to reach the test venue sometime earlier. What may happen if you arrive the test venue after the test starts? You will not be allowed to enter the test. So keep this point into your consideration. Actually, I noticed and I witnessed a lot of incidents like that. Good. One important point. If you book the test using your ID, okay, using your ID, then it's extremely important to bring your ID with you. No, of course, not all the tests are going to start at the same time, okay? So again, because the computer test may start at 9, while the paper test may start at 7. In the computer test, you may have the speaking test before the computer test during the same time, the same day, I mean. Anyway, I forgot what I want to say. Hamza, I don't know about that, but try to reach on time and do not miss the test, okay? I think this is the best question to be asked. Okay, anyway, as I said, you need to come sometime earlier before the test. Ms. Ghada, I think that you already got an email. As I said, they are going to send, yes, the ID. So they are going to send you an email, something like 48 hours before the time of your speaking test. I mean, for example, if your speaking test is on Saturday, then you are going to receive this message today or tomorrow, something like that. Okay, so if you used your ID to book the test, then it's highly advisable to get your ID with you. I mean that if you book the test with your ID, they would not accept your passport. And if you book the test using your passport, they would not accept the ID. So it's extremely important. Okay? Because also a lot of people suffered from this point. I booked the test using my ID, but I came to the test with my passport. I have no ID. Thank you so much. It is not allowed for you to enter the test. This is one point. Another point is, yes, I said that you may have the test a day before the main session or a day after the main session, or a day after the main session. So keep that in mind. So according to the availability of the examiners. Good. How much time? We said that the speaking test is between 11 up to 14 minutes. Good, great. And how many parts are there in the IELTS speaking test? Actually, in the IELTS speaking test, you are going to find 4 parts. Okay, the first part is, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis about that. So the first part is something like an interview with the examiner. I mean, in this part, the examiner is going to ask you some general questions. These general questions about some familiar topics for you. I mean, that the examiner may ask you about your family, your hobbies, your interests, things that you like or you do not like, your work, your job, as I said, that's it. So the examiner is going to ask you some general questions about you yourself. In this part of the test, you need to give very personal answers. Yes, it's going to be something like a warmer. I mean that the examiner is going to try break the ice between you and him, or between you and the test. Okay? So you are going to be asked, as I said, about familiar topics. In this part of the test, there is no right or wrong answer. So do not say that the examiner asked me, do you like football? And I said, no. It seems that he likes football and he get annoyed because I said no. Do not think like that. Do not think like that. So in this stage of the test, in this part of the test, all answers are acceptable ones. Okay? And you need to answer giving personal answers. So you need to answer personally. Speak about yourself. And how many examiners will be? This is a very good point. How many examiners and how many examinees or test takers? Actually, there will be just one examiner and just one test taker. So it is going to be 1-to-1 test. It is going to be a 1-to-1 test. So there will be no more than one test taker and no more than one examiner. So do not be worried about that. You will not get embarrassed speaking in front of people. I know that. So don't worry about this point at all. And either, by the way, for the face-to-face test or the online one. Good. So after this part, the examiner, we come to part number 2. The examiner is going to give you, for example, a cue card, and there will be a topic written in this cue card. You're going to take the cue card, you're going to read the cue card, and the examiner is going to give you 1 minute. This minute is to do 2 things. Number 1, you are going to take time to gather your ideas together, to write down or jot down some notes, to prepare yourself for the speech. And after that, the examiner is going to ask you to speak from 1 up to 2 minutes. From 1 up to 2 minutes. So this is the long part, actually. So I'm going to speak about a specific topic for up to 2 minutes. Good. Is it allowed for me, Ms. Ghada, to change the topic? Never. Never. Okay, so do not even try to ask the examiner for something like that. As the examiner if the examiner gives you a topic, then go ahead. You may ask about some questions. You may ask about clarification. Okay. This is the preparation time? Yes. For this part only, yes. I said, and if you look here, Mr. or Miss Nedika, you can see that up to 2 minutes. You need to speak up to 2 minutes, okay? In this part also, you are going to be asked very personal questions, okay? I mean, for example, the examiner is going to, or the question may ask you to speak about the person you admire most. So you admire, or something like a trip that you once had when you were at school. Describe a gift that it was given to you. Describe a gift that you give to someone. So in this case, you need to answer according to your personal experience. Okay. In part number three actually is linked to part number two. For example, if the examiner gave you a topic about gifts, expect that in part number three, the examiner is going to ask you about gifts as well. But in this case, these are going to be abstract ideas, abstract ideas. I mean, for example, what does it mean for people when they are given gifts from others? So in this case, do not personalize your answer. Or why do people, or when do people give gifts to each other in your culture? When do people give gifts to each other in your culture? My voice is lagging, right? Is it right? Now, is it okay? Now, is it okay, right? Yes. Okay, no problem. So, what or when do people usually give gifts to each other in your culture? In this case, in part number three, you need to give your opinion and you need to speak generally. I mean, you need to speak from a general point of view. So never personalize your answer. Okay. So do not say, yeah, of course you can ask for more clarification, but do not ask for more clarification all the time. That means you are not able to follow the speaker well. Okay. So again, part one is something like an interview with the examiner. Part number two and is something like a topic given to you. Part number three, some questions, some more questions, but this time there are going to be abstract questions about this part. I think it is clear for you all, right? You have no issues regarding this part. Okay. Are there specific rubrics for the examiners to give you your band score, or is going to be like that? Of course, there are some rubrics. So can you just brainstorm that part? I mean, that can you make a guess? What are the rubrics according to which the examiner is going to give me my band score? Fluency, very good. Grammar, yeah. What else? Vocab and grammar, very good. Way of communication, okay. Confidence, great. Pronunciation, time management, okay. Accuracy, very good. Intonation is something high. If he's gonna give you your band score according to intonation, you're gonna lose a lot. We do not have task achievement here. Using complex sentences, okay. Good. Variety of words. Speaking without hesitation, which means fluency. Being natural, very good. Will they judge my accent? So accent. Okay, great. Let's have a look at these in detail. So we have, as you said, fluency and coherence, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy, okay, and pronunciation. So these are the 4 criteria, by the way, according to which the examiner is going to give you your band score. So what does each one of these 4 criteria mean? Let's explain this part in detail, okay? So number 1, by fluency and coherence. So we have two different parts here. Number 1, fluency. Number two, coherence. So fluency means speaking with normal levels, to speak at a normal level. So you do not speak that fast, okay? So the examiner may find difficulty in understanding what you said. So here, I mean, clarity is extremely important, because, you know, some people, when they speak, they go a mile a minute. So what's your favorite food? Actually, I have a lot of kinds of food that I like, but the one that I like best is caps, and the ingredients of caps are rice, chicken, meat, or something like that. But actually, here in Saudi Arabia, oh my god, it is like you are going into a race, and the examiner is just chasing you. This is not good. And do not be such boring person, okay, saying, actually, I love a lot of kinds of food, and the one that I like best is, yeah, what is, yes, just say it, is rice. Oh my God, the examiner is gonna die this way. Okay, so the examiner, he's gonna either fall asleep, okay, yeah, go on, or he's gonna die, as I said. So just speak at a natural rate, okay? This is extremely important, by the way. If you suffer from some speech or language problems like stuttering, stammering, by the way, you need to clarify that when you register for the test. It's important for you, by the way, because the examiner is going to be given this knowledge, and he is going to keep that into his or her consideration when giving you your band score. So if you have a problem like that, just clarify that to the center with which you booked your test. And so fluency means speaking, and you need to speak with the minimal hesitations. So do not hesitate a lot, because actually hesitation is not good, because, you know, some people hesitate a lot when they produce their speech, and this is not good, as I said. So try to avoid hesitation. But we make hesitations even when we use our first language. Yes, but there's a difference between hesitations that the test taker may make be naturally, because he is looking for ideas, and hesitations that he may make because he is looking for language. And examiners are very well trained to differentiate between these two types of hesitations, okay? And also you can use some kind of, you know, we call them hesitation fillers, okay? Mr. Azam, actually, you can ask your test center regarding this point. I said, because it may differ from one center to another. No, if using hum, bum, come, no, this is not good. Okay. A lot of humming and mumming and arming, this is not good. But you need to use some fillers, useful fillers. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you about them, but not now. And coherence means to connect your ideas. You need to connect your ideas using the sequences. Do you remember the sequencing expression that we talked about, or the linkers that we talked about? Something like, although, however, this is going to create very strong connection among your ideas. So actually, it's extremely important. Using linkers is important in task 1, task 2, and the speaking test as well. Okay. So it's important for you to use what? To use linkers. Okay, clear about that? Let's move on. Now we come to the lexical resource. Actually, the lexical resource means two things. Number one, to use a variety of vocabulary. And number two, to use them or to choose them properly. So have a good choice of your vocabulary. Let me give you an example for bad choice or bad word choice or incorrect word choice. If I say put yourself in my shoes, it's okay, by the way, it's an expression and we can use it, no problem. By the way, in the speaking test, you may use casual language. You may use casual language, no issue if you use casual language. I mean, no issue if you use common language, everyday language is okay. You can use expressions, you can use proverbs, you can use idioms. It's okay here, but never use slang language. Never use that slang language. There's a difference between colloquial language and that slang language. Okay, so you can speak informally. By the way, you can make a mix of formal and informal language, no issue at all. So you need to speak naturally. And you need to use a range of vocabulary. I mean, never repeat the same question. And as I always ask you to paraphrase the question here, also you need to paraphrase the question when giving your answer. So, for example, how many countries or have you ever traveled abroad? Have you ever traveled abroad? So I'm going to say, I do not say I have traveled abroad to many countries. This is not good. You need to paraphrase. So I'm going to say, for example, actually, I love traveling a lot and I have been overseas many times. Oh, wow. This is a very nice paraphrase, a very perfect and clever paraphrase. So instead of I have traveled abroad many times, I said I have been overseas to many countries. Clear? Done? Good. Also, you need to have good word choice, as I said. So do not say, for example, my father is a success businessman. My father is a success businessman. This is not good. There's a problem in the word choice here. Where is this problem, you know? My father is a success businessman. So it should be successful. My father is a successful, or my uncle is a successful businessman. Yes, this is correct now. And successful, no, a successful. Well, that's very. Okay. Number 3, grammatical range and accuracy, and this is extremely important part here. And I said regarding grammatical accuracy, I mean to use grammar correctly, because this grammar may block understanding at the examiner, or may cause some kind of misunderstanding at the examiner. And let me give you a real example here. I still remember that something like maybe 5 years ago, and one of the examiners said, what are your plans for next week? Or forget about the context. Look at the sentence and tell me what you can understand. I will visit my family, or I will visit my relatives. I will visit my relatives last week. I will visit my relatives last week. What do you think about the sentence? I will visit my relatives. MashaAllah, actually, most of your answers are incorrect ones. Okay. Okay, so it seems that you need a lot of lessons in grammar, by the way. Okay. Number 1, I cannot say I have visited. Number 1, I cannot say I have visited. Look here. although I'm not here to teach grammar, but anyway, it may be useful for you. I have bought a new car last week. Okay. I bought a new car. Okay, what do you think about these two sentences? What do you think about these two sentences? Okay. In English, we have two important points regarding language. We call them semantics and syntax. I know that this is very specific. Okay, this is very special. But let me clarify, simplify that. When we say syntax, that means we speak about the structure. Either the structure is correct or not. Here the structure is correct, but semantically, syntactically, it is correct. My voice is clear, right? Now it is okay for you. Okay, very good. So actually, both sentences are wrong. Both sentences are wrong here. You know why? You know what? Both of them are wrong sentences. You know why? I cannot say I have bought a new car last week. Why? Because we use the present perfect, which is have or has, and then past participle or verb 3, to speak about an action, focusing on the action without mentioning the time. So I'm going to say, I bought a new car last week. In this case, it's okay. And the second one is wrong. Why? Because if you make the focus on the action, not the time, then you need to add have. So either to say, I have bought a new car. So here, I understand that you make the focus on the action itself. Or I bought a new car last week. In this case, you make the focus on the time of the action, not the action. Got it? So if you use have or has and then verb, never mention the time. I have bought a new car. I have visited London. I know you already visited London and came back, but here I just want to put the focus on the action itself. Did you know I have bought a new car? Oh, wow. I have bought a Lamborghini. Oh, yeah. Oh, great. It is not important for me to know that you bought the Lamborghini today or tomorrow. The most important point is the action itself. So if you use a time marker, you need to use past simple. If you say yesterday, you need to say bought a car. If you say tomorrow or next week, you are going to say, I will buy a new car. So actually the time marker is going to make the sentence completely different. I think it is understood right now, right? So using grammar correctly is one important point. So what is the point here? This guy said, I will visit my uncle, for example, last week. Here, the examiner's mind is gonna make error. Why? Because I will not be able to understand. Did you already visit your uncle, or you are gonna visit your uncle? So this is the point. Here we have a very strange mixture between present and past, or present, future and past. So it is easier to say next week. I will visit my uncle next week. In this case, it's okay. Or to say I visited my ankle last week. So now the context is okay, is correct. Got it? So this is all about grammatical range and accuracy. I think it is clear and understood right now. Also, we have grammatical range. And I said that for grammatical range, you need to produce some more compound and complex sentences. If most of your answers are simple answers, you will not get more than band 5. So keep that into your consideration. That means I need to produce some more compound and complex sentences in order to maximize my band score. Okay, so let me clarify this point. If I ask Mr. Ammar here, and I said, Ammar, do you live in a flat or a house? I'm trying to reach you, Ammar. Just raise your hand, Ammar, okay? Okay, I marked Amira. Okay, Miss Amira, do you live in a flat or a house?
I live in an apartment complex which is surrounded by many facilities and amenities, such as a grocery store, a shopping mall.
Very good. This is a very good answer. Thank you so much. You did a great job. Okay, can I say, dear brothers and sisters, I live in a house. What about this answer? And I stopped. Do you live in a flat or a house? I live in a house. Yeah. Is it a good answer? No, never. It is not a good answer at all. Why? Because when giving your answers in the speaking part, you need to do two things. Number one, support your answer with two things. Number one, more reasons, more details, and more reasons. So if I ask you a question, never give a short answer. Never give a short answer. It is not good at all. It is not good at all. Never give a short answer. Okay? So when you give an answer, never give a short answer. Because it's a speaking test. Do not make yourself Mr. Bean here. Okay? Do you live in a flat or house? Or do you like pizza? Oh my God, you're not deaf. Okay, so you need to produce language. Just help the examiner find something to give you a good band score. Okay, but using the sign language is not good here. It is not good here. So I need to support my answer with details or reasons. And it's highly recommended to use fillers. Use fillers, but ladies, I'm talking about something completely different from that has already existed in your mind. So don't go to your husband. Okay, Dr. Yahya said that we need to use fillers to get good band scores in speaking. Okay. Okay, anyway, here fillers means what? Okay. So actually you may use some suitable fillers to introduce your answer. Okay. Some expressions like as a matter of fact. Okay. Actually. Okay. In fact. Indeed. Generally speaking. Let me say that. Let me tell you that. So all these, or to be honest, It's also a good one, to be honest. Of course, each one of them should be used within a specific context. So you need to check, or you need to pick one of them according to the context that you are going to use them in, okay? So using one of these fillers is, frankly speaking, actually, generally speaking, also all these are very good ones. So this will help you a lot to introduce and pave the way for your main discussion rather than give the answer directly, okay? So if I ask you, do you live in a flat or a house? And you said, I live in a flat or I live in a house, this is not good, okay? You can take a screenshot of that because actually I'm gonna erase. Okay. So what is, let's have a look at this answer. I live in a house. It includes two floors, has a small garden. I usually spend my free time reading there. I like my house a lot. It is very modern and cozy. What do you think about this answer? Yeah. I mean, how perfect is this one? Of course, it's very perfect. Why? Why it is perfect? Yes, Miss Aisha, yes, I agree with you. Actually, and Mr. I couldn't find your name. It is good, but actually, it is not too detailed, by the way. If you say that, I say, I live in a house, it includes 2 floors, it has a small garden. I usually spend my free time reading there. I like my house a lot. It's very modern and cozy. This doesn't take more than 30 seconds, so it's perfect. But actually, this answer will not give you more than band 5. Yes, Miss Yasmin, because of no linkers. No linkers. All these sentences used here are just simple sentences, are very simple sentences. You know, if you are talking to someone who's native, you are going to seem like a baby producing language. I live in a house. It includes 2 floors. Has a small garden. Oh, why aren't you using compound or complex sentences? You need to extend your sentences, okay? So I'm gonna use what? Something like, as a matter of fact, I live in a big house. Yeah, and I need to make, yes, which, very good, which includes, I'm gonna erase it. So which includes 2 floors. What else? What else? Yeah, I need another linker now. Also, it has a small garden. Okay. A small garden. What linker I can use here? Where? Perfect. Where? I usually spend my free time reading. Honestly, very good. Honestly, I like my house a lot. I need to use a conjunction. Why? Because it is very modern and cozy. So let's read it. As a matter of fact, I live in a big house, which includes 2 floors. Also, it has a small garden where I spend most of my free time reading there. Honestly, I like my house a lot because it's very modern and cozy. Now you maximized your band score to at least band 7 above. I think now you noticed the difference, right? You noticed the difference. It is clear to you, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna erase that. Good. Now we come to the fourth and last one, which is pronunciation. Pronunciation is extremely important actually here. You know, the most important point in the speaking section is pronunciation, because if you pronounce well, that means you are not able to produce accurate speech. So actually, pronunciation is extremely important for this aspect. So what does it mean by pronunciation? Pronunciation means to produce the words correctly. Actually, one of the most prominent problems regarding speaking is mispronunciation. Okay? Because mispronunciation may lead to a lot of problems at the listener. This may cause some kind of either difficulty at the listener to follow you well, or even misunderstanding at the listener. Okay? So from where do the pronunciation problems emerge? Okay, mainly they emerge from two sources. Number one, you learn to say the word wrongly. You learn to say the word wrongly. So from the beginning, you learn to say that in a wrong way, in an incorrect way. And I still remember this person when I asked him, do you have some foreigner friends? He said, sure, I know a lot of them. I know a lot of them. Oh my God. I'm really impressed by your self-confidence. I really know a lot of them. You know them? Yes, I know a lot of them. It, the problem at this person is that he learned the word, okay, wrongly. He learned to say the word wrongly. And I still remember that, I don't know whether this is a joke or what, but someone said, the teacher said that, okay, students, you need to know that when you see someone at night, you need to say, or when you see someone in the evening and you want to go to sleep, it is commonly known that you say to him, good neckhead. Yeah, so good neckhead, everyone. And oh my God. So if you come to someone and you say good neckhead, yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean here? So just mispronouncing the sentence may cause, okay, good neckhead. So that's in Arabic, I'm going to say, okay, congratulations for her. Okay, that means good succeeded. This is a girl whose name is good and good succeeded. Okay, so this is not good, of course. This is going to cause a lot of misunderstanding at the listener. So try to learn the words correctly. Try to learn how to pronounce correctly. So you need to learn silent letters. Actually, English is notorious for these silent letters. They may cause misunderstanding for you. So you need to listen to the word well to know how to pronounce it well. So, for example, this word is, can you write how we pronounce it? Just do not write, just write how we pronounce it. This is pronounced like design. Very good. Design. Great. And here, Okay, just write how we pronounce it again. Yeah, okay. And this one, you know, it is resign. You know, resign when someone leave or decide to quit a job. And this is going to be what? Good. Actually, design becomes designation. Designation. So again, design, designation, and resign, resignation. The same as sign. You know, when you sign a contract, sign becomes what? Signature. Signature, not signature. So again, design, designation, resign, resignation, sign, signature. Signature, okay? So, and some words, for example, this is called what? And when it is a noun, it is pronounced in a specific way. So I'm going to say nature. I love nature a lot. And natural juice. I love natural juice, not natural. So you need to take care about that. Another problem regarding pronunciation, or another source of mispronunciation, is the interference of your mother tongue. The interference of first language. So the interference of your first language may do a lot. Okay. Or may cause a lot of differences, a lot of misunderstanding. Let me give you examples of that. So most Arabs actually are, and a lot of them, a lot of different cultures or a lot of different nationalities as well, and not differentiate between p sound versus b sound, p and b. So it is Pepsi. I like Pepsi, not Pepsi. Or pizza, not pizza, pizza. And I still remember that one of our brothers went to America to study there, okay? And he stopped one of the passerbys and asked him, please, he wants to find a place to leave his car. So he said, hello, sir, please, can I park here? Can I park here? The man looked at him in astonishment, thought for a while and said, sure, you can park anywhere. You're in America, so feel free and park anywhere. And we are going to park with you. Don't worry, we're going to support you here. It is America, it's the country of freedom. Okay. So this caused, or this mispronunciation caused some kind of misunderstanding. You know why? Because the word park means to leave your car in a place, but bark means to produce the sound of a dog, a how, for example. So when he said, can I bark here? The man looked to him in astonishment, thinking that he means, can I make the sound of a goat? I feel that I'm very enthusiastic that I need to bark everywhere. Okay, just go ahead, and we are going to bark with you. Don't worry about that. So just very simple mispronunciation caused huge misunderstanding at the listener. Okay, so this is one of the points here. So also, you know, the famous Egyptian trend, changing the th sound into th sound. So saying, I am thinking. You're not thinking, man. You are standing in front of me. No, believe me, I am thinking about that. Oh my God. So this is going to cause a lot of misunderstanding as well. Okay. I am thinking, think. Okay. And, or to say, thank you. So why do you want to thank me? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So this, or the famous Pakistani or Indian trend also, I think, to change that into tech sound. Okay. Or 1, 2, 3. Or some of the Filipino trends also. They are very famous as well. Okay, is this a problem in the speaking? Yes, it's a problem in the speaking test if this causes some kind of misunderstanding at the examiner or at the listener in general. So that's why if you have a problem like that, if your mother tongue has its powerful impact on your English, then you need to work on yourself. You need to work on your language. This is not good at all. I do not ask you, by the way, to follow a specific accent. I mean, it is not necessary, by the way, to follow the American accent or the British accent, because the examiners actually know both of them. And they will not judge you, will not give preference to one over the other. I mean, if you speak British English, it's okay. If you speak American English, it's okay. Even if you doesn't, or if you do not follow a specific accent, it's okay. The most important point is to speak well, to produce language well, okay? To produce language neutrally without following a specific accent. So this is the most important point here. We're talking about accuracy here. We're talking about accuracy, fluency, okay? So keep that in mind. Keep that into your consideration. Good. So now we may go for a prayer break. We may go for a prayer break. And so it's prayer, not prayer, okay? And so see you at 6:55, let me say, after the prayer break.